लामो समयदेखि प्रभावित मलेसिया रोजगारीसँग सम्बन्धित यो अपडेट। मलेसियाले नेपालबाट नेपाली कामदार लैजानका लागि नयाँ मापदण्ड लागू गर्ने भएको छ। मलेसिया सरकारले विदेशी कामदार भर्ना प्रक्रियामा नयाँ मापदण्ड लागू गरेपछि त्यसबारे व्यापक विवाद उत्पन्न भएको छ। त्यो विवाद नेपालमा पनि उत्पन्न भएको छ। उक्त मापदण्ड सिन्डिकेटधारी तथा प्रभावशाली भर्ती एजेन्टहरूको दबावमा परेर मलेसिया सरकारले ल्याएको आरोप यतिखेर लागिरहेको छ। मलेसियाले जारी गरेको सर्कुलरले नेपालका म्यानपावर कम्पनीहरूलाई सूची पठाउने प्रक्रियामा जटिलता थप्ने, त्यति मात्रै नभएर केही निश्चित व्यवसायी र एजेन्सीहरूबाट प्रभावित भएर उनीहरूलाई मात्रै लाभ हुने गरी तयार गरिएको बताइएको छ र जुन योजनाबद्ध रूपमा सिन्डिकेटधारी व्यवसायीहरूकै प्रभावमा आएको बताइएको छ। नेपालको वैदेशिक रोजगार व्यवसायीहरूका अनुसार नयाँ मापदण्डले निष्पक्ष प्रतिस्पर्धा समाप्त गरेको अवस्था छ र सिन्डिकेटधारीहरूलाई बलियो बनाइदिएको अवस्था छ र उनीहरूले हिजोदेखि जुन खर्च गरेका करोडौँ जुन रकम थियो त्यसको चाहिँ त्यसैको प्रभावमा यो सिन्डिकेसन भित्रिएको बताइएको छ र यो दुवै देशको नीतिलाई पनि यसले चाहिँ ठुलो ह्याम्पर गर्न सक्ने बताइएको छ। मलेसियाले स्रोत देशबाट श्रमिक भर्ती गर्न ल्याएको नयाँ मापदण्डको नाममा पुरानै यो सिन्डिकेट प्रणाली भनिएको छ र पुरानै सिन्डिकेट प्रणाली पुनर्स्थापना गर्नका लागि यो चाहिँ योजनाबद्ध रूपमा ल्याइएको बताइएको छ। यसअघि नेपालमा स्वास्थ्य व्यवसायी कैलाश खड्काले मलेसियाका एजेन्ट अमिन भन्ने व्यक्तिसँग मिलेर, जो चाहिँ बङ्गलादेशी हुन्, उनीसँग मिलेर वर्षौँदेखि यही मापदण्डको नाममा 36वटा मेडिकललाई मात्रै मलेसिया रोजगारीमा जाँदा मेडिकल अथवा स्वास्थ्य परीक्षण गर्न पाउने सिन्डिकेट लादिरहेको अवस्था छ, जो अहिले पनि जारी छ। पछिल्लो समय मलेसियाले उस्तै प्रकृतिको र तिनै व्यक्तिहरूको प्रभावमा परेर कामदार भर्ती प्रक्रियामा समेत सिन्डिकेट लगाउन खोजिएको आरोप चाहिँ यतिखेर लागिरहेको अवस्था छ। मलेसियाको नयाँ मापदण्ड अनुसार कामदार पठाउने म्यानपावरले पछिल्लो 3 वर्षमा 3000 कामदार पठाएको हुनुपर्ने अनि विभिन्न 3 देशमा कामदार पठाएको प्रमाण पेश गर्नुपर्ने अनि त्यसपछि कम्तीमा पनि 10,000 वर्ग फिट चाहिँ कार्यालयको चाहिँ त्यो एरिया हुनुपर्ने अनि 5 वर्षभन्दा पहिले नै दर्ता भएको हुनुपर्ने अनि कम्तीमा 3 वर्षदेखि चाहिँ म्यानपावर कम्पनी सञ्चालन रहेको हुनुपर्ने लगायतको मापदण्ड चाहिँ क्रिएट गरेको छ र यही मापदण्ड अनुसार जाँदा मलेसियाको आरबिए अन्तर्गतको जुन इथिकल प्रक्रियाका केही म्यानपावर कम्पनीहरूको डिमान्डहरू हुन्थ्यो त्यो डिमान्ड पनि प्रभावित हुने आशंका छ र ती म्यानपावर कम्पनी जसले इथिकल रिक्रुटमेन्ट अथवा जिरो कस्टमा कामदार पठाउँदै आएका थिए तिनीहरूलाई पनि बाइपास गर्ने अवस्था छ। मलेसियाको नयाँ मापदण्डले कामदारको भर्तीको क्वालिटी भन्दा पनि क्वान्टिटीलाई बढी प्राथमिकता दिएको जस्तो देखिन्छ। साथसाथै नेपाली कामदारले मलेसिया रोजगारमा जाँदा चर्को लागत जुन तिरिराख्नु परेको अवस्था छ, यो तिर्नु परेको विषयलाई मलेसियाको पछिल्लो मापदण्डमा काहीँ कतै स्पष्ट सम्बोधन गरिएको छैन। नेपालबाट हुने जुन व्यतिथिका कुराहरूलाई सम्बोधन गरिएको छैन। साथसाथै एकपटक सूचीमा परेका एजेन्ट्सहरूको कारबाहीको सम्बन्धमा के हुने अनि नीति तथा शर्तहरूको सम्बन्धमा चाहिँ रिभाइज हुने कि नहुने, अर्को वर्ष के हुने भन्ने कुराहरूको काहीँ पनि स्पष्ट कुराहरू छैन। यसैले गर्दा यसमा ठुलो चलखेल हुन सक्ने आरोप लगाइएको अवस्था छ र नेपालले यही अस्पष्ट मापदण्डलाई ठाडै अस्वीकार गर्नुपर्ने माग चाहिँ यतिखेर उठिरहेको छ र मलेसियामा नेपाली कामदार भर्तीको विषयलाई निकै चासोका साथ हेरिरहेका र श्रमिक अधिकारको विषयलाई उठाइरहेका अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय मानव अधिकार कर्मी एन्डी हल यतिखेर मसँग एउटा अन्तर्वार्तामा अन्तर्क्रियामा हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँले चाहिँ नयाँ मापदण्ड जुन मलेसिया ल्याएको छ यसलाई चाहिँ एउटा सिन्डिकेसन भएको टिप्पणी गर्नुभएको छ। उहाँसँगको कुराकानी अबको क्रममा।
To understand this issue better, I am joining by international labor rights activist Mr. Andy Hall from Berlin, Germany. Mr. Hall, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Anil. No worries.
Okay, to begin, what is your first reaction to Malaysia's new recruitment standards?
I think that the standards are, of course, there is a good thing to have standards, but they don't seem to be realistic. I'm not sure how they're going to be enforced in reality in the kind of climate that recruitment occurs in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is not fair for Nepali workers, you think?
I'm not sure that the this kind of application of this standard will result in workers being more responsibly or ethically recruited. Because I feel that it's an attempt to impose some kind of syndicate on recruitment practices, and when syndicates are applied, the cost of recruitment will generally increase. So I'm not convinced that the intention of this standards and will necessarily take place in reality.
Nepal and other sending countries, not only Nepal, other sending country also take together to create a fair recruitment model that truly protects migrant workers' issues or rights.
Yeah, the Malaysian market at the moment, it's not really a transparent market, and there's a lot of systemic corruption involved, in the processes, whether it be the approval process or the visa process, many different processes. So the process needs to be transparent and focused on the good governance. We need to see the employers, paying for the recruitment, and then we need to see the ethical conduct by the various actors, working together to try to reduce the costs for the migrant workers. In order to have responsible recruitment, it starts with the employer and the destination country, right? They have to have a clean system. And so the problem is in Malaysia now, the recruitment agencies in Nepal, they have to pay so much costs like kickbacks or corruption costs to even get the demand to source the workers. They have to pay so much money to the Malaysian agents to get these demands. So if we don't eliminate this cost that's having to be paid to these Malaysian agents or to Malaysian employers, we cannot clean up the process. So the process has to be clean in Malaysia. To start with, Malaysia is one of the most systemically corrupt recruitment markets that I've ever seen in my life. Once we solve the problem in Malaysia, we can start to look at the challenges in Nepal with the governance of Nepal and the actors in Nepal. But we need to clean the process up in Malaysia first, because the source of the problem is Malaysia. It's not Nepal. So we have to look at Malaysia first.
So in Nepal now condition is not good because of Gen Z protest before 1 month. So they are playing, I think they are playing syndicate system in that situation. What do you want to say to the Nepal government about that issues?
No, I mean, the thing is, it's not just Nepal. I mean, this process, this new guidelines apply to Nepal, to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and also Myanmar. And I don't think that any of these 5 countries have the capacity or the political commitment to be able to objectively verify which agencies are good or ethical at this stage. I don't think Nepal has ever had the capacity to be able to do that. It's something that international community also cannot do. They haven't been able to rank recruitment agencies by how good they are or how ethical they are. It's failed everywhere around the world. And so, especially at the moment, I don't think the Nepal government is going to be in a situation where they can rank agencies. Like, we have to have some level of fairness. I'm not against the fact that, ranking agencies, who are the best actors, who are the most ethical actors, but that process has to be objective. It has to be fair. It has to be transparent. It shouldn't be a process whereby someone pays money and then suddenly they become good, or someone has power and influence, suddenly they become good. So I think it's great that we try to promote these responsible recruitment agencies. We try to promote good agencies, but good is a relative concept. It has to be objective. It has to be fair. And I think definitely the Nepali government at the moment is not in any situation to be able to rank the agencies in Nepal. And what we also see is that, in Nepal, the biggest agencies, the agencies that send the most workers to the most countries, as in my experience, or based on the information that I have, they are some of the most corrupt and illegitimate and exploitative agencies. There are some exceptions. And so if we're focusing on, giving this chance to recruit to these bigger agencies that have sending more workers overseas, it's really dangerous, because these actors are some of the worst in the market in Nepal.
So my final questions now, you are the hero for Nepali workers, because I know who are you, and you playing very big role, very great role, and very appreciate role, because many Nepali workers are they are going to Malaysia with the ethical recruitment, and after that situation, when Malaysia creating that kind of new rules, new this kind of standards, the ethical recruitment manpower company like RBA conducted, like Akarshan International, like the international, like other many more manpower company, they are got out because of these standards. What do you want to say about that issue?
No, the challenge is that, there's a lot of actors in the global community, a lot of companies that want to do responsible recruitment. And so, for instance, these companies haven't been able to source from Bangladesh for the last couple of years because of the syndicate, because of the unethical system. So if the Malaysian government brings in this system, it will become really difficult for these companies who are trying to do the good thing. It's going to be a real challenge, but we have to see how it works out. I mean, I think some of the more ethical recruitment agencies in Nepal, I don't think, in my understanding, that they can comply with all of these 10 requirements. They may be able to comply with some of them. But I also don't think there's any agencies in Nepal non-stop that can comply with these requirements. They're very high requirements. And I don't think it's realistic at the moment that you can expect agencies to be able to comply with these standards. And I'm just, as I said, I'm really concerned that this is an attempt to syndicate recruitment to Malaysia. And if you have a syndicate, you'll generally have increased costs for workers. And if you have a syndicate, the cost, has to be passed on to the workers. So I think it will be difficult to do ethical recruitment within a syndicated recruitment system.
So your final words?
I think that the Nepal government should oppose these requirements and say that they have to reply within a few weeks. So I think that the Nepal government should stand firm and say that whilst these requirements are good on paper, it's not realistic at the moment, and Nepal won't send workers to Malaysia under these requirements. So essentially, the Nepal government should refuse to comply with this unilateral measure from the Malaysian authorities.